let's try this again. We got more Epstein files. Back at it again. Shout out to the new subscribers. I fuck with the love. Let's go.
Quote, Brunel has been a model scout for various modeling agencies for many years, and he was apparently able to get U.S. passports for young girls to work as...
This CoffeeZilla, Voyzilla, y'all know him. He got 1.4 million subscribers. I think we all know Big Dog, so shit.
Eventually, of course, being sent to Jeffrey Epstein. Now, it should be noted that Jean-Luc Brunel himself died in prison by hanging, and that's while he was being accused of horrible crimes related to trafficking and minors. So this guy is not a good guy. He was part of the op along with Daniel Syed, who was also scouting on behalf of Epstein and Jean-Luc Brunel. They had their agreement. Here's a sample of how this would work. Jeffrey Epstein asked him to...
Imagine how evil you gotta be go pay Jeffrey Epstein to go search for you, to scour the earth, to go find you minors. Bro, you are a demon in the sheath of a human. You a demon. What?
A full body shot of someone. Daniel Syed says, now she is really skinny. I will do Polaroid. Jeffrey Epstein asks for a copy of her passport and then asks, how many tickets do you want for Woody, meaning Woody Allen? He says 2. Okay, thank you. Full body if possible. And then Jeffrey Epstein says, doesn't look too happy. Comments on her body, and then he says she is very sweet. I'll skip a few of the sordid details here. They comment about her body extensively, and then Jeffrey Epstein says, I sent a request. Does she want to come out to Paris on Sunday? He says, I will invite to come. And this is basically how it worked. Daniel Syed flew around the world looking for women, sending photos to Jeffrey Epstein, who then would get a copy of their passports and bring them to the States. Here's an example of this. Daniel Syed...
Oh, Lord. That's what he was doing with his modeling agency? Damn. I guess he's one of the people that they really threw under the bus because she's dead already. See, the people that are alive, they're not going to lock these people up. This is all just hoopla, smoke and mirrors, for real. At the end of the day, I don't know what they doing in the background. Something big has to be happening for them to be doing this, because they not finna lock Trump up. They not finna lock Bill Gates up. They damn sure not about to touch Elon Musk. They're not touching nobody, bro. Nobody.
A girl, they didn't redact his name, but I'm going to do it. He says, very nice, easygoing, dream to work in the United States or visit the United States working as a model in Dubai. He asks age. Daniel says 22 or 23. I forgot to ask her. She looks younger. I have her number if you want to call her. She was going to send this evening. And this happens over and over. At one point, he talks about a Thai actress. Jeffrey Epstein says he can see her on Wednesday, and then he complains that she wants to meet in a restaurant. I don't do that in New York, and then says she didn't even respond. Not nice. The point is, a lot of these girls were looking to come to the United States for one reason or another, for some kind of dream. They would ask for passports or visas, and then ultimately get sent here by this network of people who would later be accused of...
The devil wears Prada, man. Oh shit, the devil wears Prada. Cause what? I don't even believe in the devil, nigga. But hey, you hear about shit like this, I don't know, man.
Trafficking or other abuses. Now, to be clear, there have not been charges against Daniel Syed, and the government, remember, says they have no evidence to go even predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties. So it's a little bit bizarre to be reading about this scouting operation for Jeffrey Epstein, the way he recruited girls, and then be told, yeah, nothing to see here. Yeah, one of the scouts was like this, like, who himself in jail. But no, there's no one else here, even though there's definitely guys floating around. Even though we literally have redacted defendants in our old draft of an indictment. We have nothing to do. We can't possibly imagine doing anything. And that brings me to one of the frustrating parts of these whole files is the redactions. I mean, I know I've been over this, but it's a different thing. In the past, the files were sort of overly redacted to protect people. The problem this time is not only are a lot of people still being...
I don't even think Epstein dead, for real. I ain't gonna lie to you. All the way they moving, it's just like, is he really dead, for real? I don't know. He might be dead. He should be dead. But, I wouldn't be surprised if he's living his life somewhere, just doing what he been doing. He was a really dangerous person. Don't forget, I seen on the Vlad interview. I was scrolling through the internet one day and shit. The Vlad interview just dropped recently for real. And oh shit, what the fuck? That shit right there and shit. But the Vlad interview and shit. That motherfucker, he basically was. He said he was a billionaire, and he was talking as if he was a savant in the stock market. Like he was the biggest wolf on Wall Street. That's how he became so rich. Like he was better than AI when it came to figuring out call options and puts and what's gonna be the next biggest stock. When is the best time to sell? Like he was a computer. Like bro, the dude was full of shit.
Acted like literally the names of the
shit.
people they were going to charge. You couldn't argue.
Get to talking about I swear he really get to talk about astrophysics, bro. That video that they drop on the Flash is actually low key hilarious because he gets to talk about like astrophysics and like multi-dimensional type shit. You feel me? Like out of the box interstellar type shit, right? But bro, you're being tried for being a whole creep box. You know what I'm saying? Why are you talking about that stuff right now? It's trying to sound like a wizard and shit. Oh, man.
Victims. But the work was just done so sloppy that oftentimes you'll find that the DOJ has uploaded two documents that are functionally identical and they redacted one but not the other, letting you see what's ultimately behind the mask, which is dumb because sometimes the thing they're redacting is Jeffrey Epstein's name. Or other times it's somebody who clearly is not a victim because then you see the non-redacted copy and you're like, yeah, that's clearly not a victim. So it's a little strange what they seem to have done here. Let me give you a for instance. So we have this message from somebody whose name is blacked out, and we see participants, and then we see Jeffrey Epstein is involved, right? And it says, we need to work around your 38. We need to push back on the lies, then crush the pedo trafficking narrative, then rebuild your image as a philanthropist. Now, I want to know who's doing that? Who's trying to...
The billionaire to philanthropist tunnel. You know who else is a motherfucking philanthropist? Bill Gates, Elon Musk. What's the other one? The little bald head motherfucker. Jeff Bezos and shit. The real Lex Luthor. I don't even think Bezos was fucking with these motherfuckers for real. I think Jeff Bezos, he cooler than Elon Musk. I'll say that. And Mark Zuckerberg, I'll say that much. He's a crazy motherfucker too at that. They all crazy motherfuckers, batshit crazy. You can't get that rich without being batshit crazy, bro. But I don't know. He just don't really stick his neck out like Elon Musk. You know what I'm saying?
build Jeffrey Epstein's image, right? Well, we go ahead, we scroll down, and we see that Jeffrey Epstein sends something. He says, in any bar where drinking age is 18, and you see the participant is once again blacked out. But underneath it, in a separate file, we see Steve Bannon, a famous political figure, is in here, and he's saying the same thing. He says, first, we need to push back on the lies, then crush the trafficking narrative, then rebuild your image as a philanthropist. Guys, why did you censor out his name? Or, like, why was that censored at all? I don't understand. And I certainly don't understand.
You understand. What do you mean you don't understand?
Why Jeffrey Epstein's name in this one is censored. So, Jeffrey's not censored in this one, but Bannon is. And then Bannon's not censored in this one.
They always on code.
And Epstein is. And sometimes this creates the bizarre impression that they are censoring for victim names or for some like kind of victim status or for some reason. And then you see the other file and you're like, wait, why did you do this? It's just very poorly done throughout. That's just something I wanted to comment on is not only did they once...
The government getting sloppy. What they really wanted to do was redact them boxes, right? They wanted to black them boxes out and give you the finger. That's what they wanted to do. They wanted to make it impossible to figure out what was behind that box. They wanted you to wonder if it was Harry Potter or if it was Bill Cosby. Nigga, you don't know. Shit. What
And
the
not
fuck?
fully redact things because they were sloppy, but also like victims' names got stuck in this. Like girls' names appear sometimes, and like I'm not sure are they supposed to be redacted because they're redacted over here. They're not over here. I can kind of figure out who it is. It's just kind of a mess. I needed to point that out. You know, other times we have things like this, like Brock
Whoa.
Pierce, a co-founder of Tether, also known as the biggest stable coin in the world. He sent a message to Jeffrey Epstein with the subject line Anastasia. And then it's just a bunch of redacted stuff with a few untitled JPEGs in here. And so, you know, you're thinking to yourself, what is this? Is he sending some illicit media? Like, what is this? Well, then we have this page where it wasn't redacted. I put that little dark square that I didn't know if this
No.
should have been redacted.
Don't tell me that's just illicit material, just incriminating material. That would be very sickening. One of those big crypto junkies. If he's a crypto junkie, bro, he's filthy fucking rich. You know how much money those crypto junkies have, bro? Like, bruh. You know how much money those Bitcoin dudes have, bruh? Like, I don't think a lot of y'all realize or understand, fool. When they start registering the money on those coins, on these them little fucking flash drives, nigga. When they start registering that money and it gets government tokenized or whatever the government, like, when that shit gets accounted for, bro, the amount of billionaires that are finna sprout up. Oh, shit, okay. Alright.
It's like a bunch of JPEGs. Now, does that contain victims? Is Brock Pierce sending photos of victims? I don't know because of the way the government did this. But underneath, it says, the Ukraine is now my favorite country, smiley face, Brock Pierce, with the subject line, Anastasia. I don't know what to make of that. I'm just saying, the redactions, like the way they did this.
That shit sound criminal. Man, let some niggas pull that shit off. Boy, they would blow a country up over that shit. I swear. What? They would blow a country up over some shit like this. You pull some to fight. Man. What? If some black motherfucker, let me chill, bro. If some black person, right, went and acquired the means to get politicians and blackmail them, blackmail billionaires, blackmail kings and queens, blackmail celebrities and shit, and then to the point where they became a billionaire, blackmail scientists, my nigga, professors, the whole damn upper echelon of America, damn near, basically, right? Presidents, nigga. And then he also had ties to foreign intelligences and all types of shit. And he just went back to Nigeria. But they'll blow Nigeria up, nigga. I'm telling you right. What? You okay. They'll blow Nigeria up, nigga. I'm talking smithereens. Bombs over Lagos, nigga. What?
Good. But now let's return to Steve Bannon and his we're going to crush the trafficking narrative. Because this guy, oh boy, has been revealed in the files to being like Jeffrey's right-hand PR man.
I'm talking shit. Like, I'm talking shit, but I'm really not just talking shit at the end of the day. It's all shits and giggles, but like, bro, Trump just damn nearly bombed Nigeria a few weeks ago or did some shit like that. I seen something wild like that in the headlines. I'm gonna do a video on that because I don't know if that's a true. For real, for real. Let me ask the AI real quick to see if I'm just spreading hoopla, if I'm just talking shit. Damn, I gotta work on the expletives. Chill on me. but but let's get into it. I'm gonna open the AI. Trump bomb Nigeria. Yes, Donald Trump orders U.S. military strikes on targets in Nigeria on Christmas Day, 2025, my nigga. So if you think if somebody, okay, yeah, all right, yeah, all right.
This guy was filming basically a documentary about Jeffrey Epstein in order to rehabilitate his image. And some of it has actually leaked to the public. It's been interesting to watch how that's been received.
Side note, I think he bombed Nigeria too because they have close ties to China. He's gonna masquerade it behind resources and oils and other things. That's another side note, another tangent. Because, bro, it's just funny to me how all of these countries that have ties to China, how they're getting pressed up on all of a sudden. Um, I don't think it's smart to do that because, I mean, America's been just doing what they've been doing with people's tax dollars for years. I mean, they never cared to go help bolster Nigeria, build the infrastructure. I mean, shit. The Chinese people went over there. I'm not all for what they've been doing, but they're helping to build shit. I'll say that much.
The funny thing is that originally Jeffrey Epstein's plan was to just do a YouTube video, like an apology, like a old school 2016 turn on the camera for authenticity and saying, he says, do you think I can do my own video interview and upload it to YouTube? No sandbagging, interview format, or like a diary piece. Steve Bannon says if you do an interview, it can't be like Johnny does a YouTube. It has to be amazingly professional and perfectly cut. Then Jeffrey Epstein responds, Woody, we assume Woody Allen, because they were close, said he would help edit. Not sure how to stage, what points to make, but better than trying to do an interview that I have no experience doing. Goal is to humanize the monster. Anything written carries little weight, to which Steve Bannon replies, yes, Jeffrey Epstein, should it be an interview format, interviewed by me? They start talking about, like, how do we do this? Humor, apology, how did I get rich? Question mark, topics. They're brainstorming. How do we trick the public into seeing me as more than a monster? Now, funny enough, right before this, Jeffrey Epstein asks about a dinner with Woody, and then he says, or too many in one place. And you gotta love the self-awareness there. Now, I don't know what he meant by that. To be clear, I'm not making that up.
Bro, this dude, he gotta literally be a demon. He gotta be a demon, bro. He gotta be a demon. Or Quagmire. Or like, if Quagmire was a real person, it gotta be him.
Against Woody Allen. We'll talk about him in a second. That's Jeffrey Epstein saying that. I think what's interesting to point out, though, is how all these rich and powerful people are circling the wagons to try to protect Jeffrey Epstein's reputation, right? This is a guy...
Because he got them in the noose. He got them right here. He playing Russian roulette, you feel me? Just spinning the spinning the chamber. Just playing with him. Playing with his food.
This point has been known for years to have pled guilty to these 2008 charges. This was an open secret. And so Steve Bannon goes along, though, anyways, and he films this documentary. Now, what's interesting is he starts talking about the documentary, and he starts saying, I'm watching our second hour now. Guys were blown away. I didn't think it was as strong at the time, but I was wrong. Need huge part about threat of AI versus reality, threat of climate change. And this is where the notes start going back and forth of how can we get you to think of other things? So part of the conceit of this big interview of Jeffrey Epstein was to try to humanize him and actually present him as this genius, everyman, quirky guy with a few flaws, right?
That's what I was saying earlier, bro. Like, bro, why on earth you got this video for this dude? He's basically a fucking villain, bro. He is the antithesis of evil, nigga. Evil incarnate in human form. Nero's in fucking reincarnation. He is hellfire. Man, what? Demon semen. And he talking about astrophysics and all types of shit like he was in the laboratory. Just because you did drugs with Steven Spielberg or whatever the fuck his name is, the paraplegic scientist and shit, and you crack jokes with Bill Gates, that don't make you a scientist, bro. That don't mean you one of them. And Elon Musk too. Just because you hung out with Elon Musk or you brushed off Elon Musk, that don't mean you're shit neither. You gotta think about it. Elon Musk is just a businessman. He's not a scientist, bro. He's not an Albert Einstein. He's not a Nikola Tesla. He named the cars after, or he didn't even name the cars after Tesla. He hopped into the Tesla company that was already made, already built, already a foundation. What he is one savvy of a motherfucking businessman. I'll say that. He's a hell of an opportunist, my nigga. Besides that, though, he's not no Albert Einstein, no Tesla. He's not ever going to be on that statue. You know what I'm saying? He's just a rich person. He's more of like a Thomas Edison, you know, like. But I say all that to say this: to hang out with all those people, that don't really mean you have the right to speak on the stuff. Don't get me wrong. We all have the right to speak on these things, give you a little piece of the pie. You know what I'm saying? But after you did these heinous acts, you don't need to be talking about that. You need to be talking about who you was acquiring these people to, who you was doing business with, who was your partners in crime. You know what I'm saying? That's what you need to be talking about. You became a billionaire off of heinous acts, and they let him get away with that. Man.
They couldn't run away from the crimes. To quote, in Bannon's words, yes, 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 of course, but we must counter rapists who traffics in female children to be raped by world's most powerful, richest men. That can't be redeemed. Can't redeem the unredeemable. You are a lot of things which we will show, but you are not that. Bannon is aware that, like, they can't fully embrace the Epstein thing. They have to kind of make it about more than that. And if you see the YouTube clip going around, that's what that is. And it's been so interesting to watch the reaction because you see, even for people who've been prepped with the idea that this is basically propaganda, some of them still fall for it. They post things like, you know, oh, bro is casually confirming the world's conspiracies.
Bruh. Bro, these people are NPCs, bruh. That's some NPC ass shit, bruh. How, bro? I see how Nick Fuentes be flossing these motherfuckers. I see how, bro. I see how Nick Fuentes be getting his shit off. He could jump from, do whatever the fuck he wanted, say whatever the fuck he wanted. They just eat that shit up like it's lasagna on a Tuesday night, nigga. What, bro? Because it don't make no sense. It don't. How you siding with whatever come out his mouth? I don't give a fuck if he said, I'm a Patriots fan. If he said Tom Brady the best player in the motherfucking world, I don't want to hear that shit coming out of his mouth. Shit.
Because he's talking about 2008. But guys, that's the whole deception. They're like trying to be like, hey, this guy, this horrible monster, he's going to tell you the secrets of the inside.
Exactly, bro. He's a demon. Where the wild things are, nigga.
So you think more, that's the whole thing. That's how they're getting away with this. It's not some kind of, oh, he happened to want to talk about this. This is all premeditated. This has gone through revisions. They even called Jeffrey Epstein.
Smile. Bruh. This dude looks scary, bro. Like, if it was just dark and you seen this face just looking at you in the abyss. Bro, what? Grab the 9, man.
Smartest guy in the room.
Look, you're the smartest guy in the room, right? You know that.
The most sinister, conniving, sneaky, compromise. You know. Besides that, that's the most you probably get. He a quagmire, man.
It's honestly ridiculous anyone believes the false conceit of, you're obviously the smartest man in the room. You could tell us the world's secrets. I mean, this guy, honestly, he talks about some of his engagements, like with the Rockefeller board, and he tries to say that owning a calculator is why he got that.
It was very advanced in those days to have a Texas Instrument calculator, where it could, by putting in the numbers, it would multiply.
Talking like he an AI, like he a robot. Like he know better than the robots that's coming. Like he was one of the best investors. Man.
For you to do square roots.
Insider trading ass motherfucker. You think this dude was an insider trader? He rubbing shoulders with Bill Gates. Came from shithole. Came from shit. Rubbing shoulders with Bill Gates. Hanging out with Mossad leaders' daughters. You think he wasn't insider? Okay. He was insider trading. The politicians be insider trading. He hung out with Bill Clinton, man.
That was the
Man, this shit crazy. This country.
and everyone who had a calculator was already advanced on Wall Street. The most important parts of business were really now going to calculations. Places like Rockefeller needed someone to say, look, we're entering a different world where numbers and the numbers of companies, portfolio management was going to be balanced. It was going to be statistical. Jeffrey, could you come on the board, potentially sit on the finance committee?
So we're honestly supposed to believe that Jeffrey Epstein got onto this prestigious Rockefeller board because he had a calculator, but also that he's the smartest guy in the room, the smartest man on Wall Street. And let's not talk about those horrific crimes he committed because, you know, he's not really such a bad guy after all. But it wasn't just Steve Bannon that was trying to humanize or giving advice on how to humanize Epstein. It was also Richard Branson, the famous billionaire. He was caught emailing Jeffrey Epstein saying, "Dear Jeffrey, it was really nice seeing you yesterday. The boys in water sports can't stop speaking about it. Anytime you are in the area, would love to see you as long as you bring your harem." I don't know, that's not that ambiguous, guys. I think we can imagine what that means.
Shit.
But anyways, he says, one, I think if Bill Gates was willing to say that you've been a brilliant advisor to him, that you slipped up many years ago by sleeping with a 17-and-a-half-year-old and were punished for it, that you've more than learned your lesson and have done.
This shit like crazy, bro. Like, damn. This dude was prolific in a bad way. Cause wow, this one death caused so much stuff to happen. like, when dude was alive and nobody knew who he was, like the world was just moving. Like this one death caused a wow.
It's against the law since, and yes, as a single man, you have a penchant for women, but there's nothing wrong with that. Anyway, something along those lines. He's giving him PR advice. How to get your reputation back. Hey, Jeffrey, privately, I loved you. You can come back anytime with your harem. Jeffrey Epstein responds, nice seeing you. Thanks for your hospitality. I appreciate your public relations thoughts. Now, according to the New York Times, a Branson representative said the two had a business meeting and stressed the women were adults and had not attended the meeting. All above board. That's what everyone says, by the way. Remember what Elon Musk said, right? That's the playbook. Admit nothing, deny everything. Speaking of, remember Howard Lutnick, who we showed on video saying that he had never seen Epstein since 2005.
So I was never in the room with him socially, for business, or for even philanthropy. If that guy was there, I wasn't going because he's gross.
Although also calling him the greatest blackmailer ever.
This guy was the greatest blackmailer ever.
Well, also according to the Times, Lutnick said he spent zero time with him, even though there are emails basically to the contrary, where Epstein is saying, nice seeing you after the conviction. I mean, these people, not only are they lying, they won't even admit when they've been caught lying. But now let's talk about Prince Andrew, too, who was caught lying over
Bro,
a
that's
woman
a literal child,
at some
bro.
kind of a party. I mean,
That's a literal child, bro. That's a literal child, bro. Bruh. What the fuck? He literally looked like a demonic entity. Like a sat, like ew, bro. Like a pig human. Like ew. With his Rolex on.
not a good, this is not doing you any
That's a
favors,
child,
you know.
bro.
I know Prince Andrew soon will probably be on the comeback tour. It's going to be a bunch of highly paid PR execs. Maybe Steve Bannon can jump in, shoot another 5-hour podcast trying to rehabilitate him. Like, Prince Andrew, what's the secret behind the royal family?
Look, you're the smartest guy in the room.
But again,
He's
has
still here. They always the smartest guy in the room.
admitted anything? Has he denied everything? Now, we should also probably talk about Noam Chomsky as well, the guy behind the book Manufacturing Consent, which in hindsight, maybe we should have suspected something. But either way, he also sends some reputational advice to his buddy Jeffrey Epstein. He says, I watched the horrible way you've been treated by the press and public. It's painful to say, but I think the best way to proceed is to ignore it. When the vultures dearly want is a public response, which then provides a public opening. In general, I think it's best not to react unless directly questioned, particularly in the current mood. That's the best advice I can think of. Noam. Now, he sends that to Matthew Hiltzik of Hiltzik.
Don't bother with what the peasants have to think about you. It only matters what us oligarchs think about you, dear Jeffrey. You hear that, Jeffrey? Dear Jeffrey? Don't worry about the peasants out there.
Who is a also famous PR guy.
You can do whatever you want to children. It doesn't matter. He's sick, bruh. These people are sick. So he with that shit. Whoever said that email too.
I guess trying to help Epstein, I assume, who responds, I think that is wise. Now, later talking with Bannon, Epstein loops in Hiltzik again. He says, Matt Hiltzik thought your idea was epic. Hypocrisy of the liberal left. And he says, yep, he would confidentially like to sit and help if you like. This is Matthew Hiltzik. You know, a lot of powerful people basically were bending over backwards, left, right, center, trying to rehabilitate this guy's image. And the question...
Exactly, bro. It's all a game. That's why I said a couple videos back, bro, that whole left-right shit is bullshit, bro. Stop listening to these people that... I'm on the left, and the people on the right, they're the ones that's the problem. The right this, the right that. I'm on the right. The people on the left, they're the problem. The left, they're stupid. The right, they're stupid. The left, they're this. The right, bro, it's goofy, bro. It's hilariously goofy and weak. Because at the end of the day, bro, the people at the top, they on both sides of the fence. Whatever the fuck makes more money on that day or that month or that year, they're on that side of the fence, right? Okay? The rich people, the people that really run this country, that really got the money, they're on either side of the fence. And guess what? After they do these little beefs for the public, for the masses to see on the world stage, they get together and they eat dinner. They eat dinner. They know each other's family. Like, they ask them how the kids doing. What are y'all talking about, bro? Like, left, right. They doing shit like this behind the scenes on the left and on the right, but you worry about left, right.
Why? Why were all these guys so interested in their precious Jeffrey Epstein if they had no involvement? I mean, that's the part I can't figure out it. Because all of them deny it. All of them don't admit anything. And so what exactly is the problem? But now it's time to talk about Elon Musk's brother, Kimball Musk. He was also in the files. Jeffrey was copied on an email talking about Kimball's 40th birthday, where the password to the secret party was P Riot. And then in all caps, Boris, the sender of this email, says, I am not joking about the password. This was in 2012 in September. Now that's important because a little bit later, Kimball Musk is emailing Boris Nikolic and Jeffrey Epstein.
Boris.
And he's talking to them about being connected with some redacted name and saying, I believe you both played a role, whatever that means. Now, whether this was at the party or, right after their meeting in October, I don't know. But what's interesting is Boris responds and says, Kimball, just FYI, you better be nice to redacted. Jeffrey goes crazy when someone mistreats his girls/friends, so better be very nice to her. Kimball Musk responds,
Jeffrey goes crazy. I wonder what he do. Shit.
Received wide and clear. Then he says, seriously, I'm very happy with my time so far with Jennifer. She's great. Now, again, was that supposed to be a redacted name we just read? Like, I don't know. They've been redacting it in earlier emails, and all of a sudden you just get Jennifer. I can't really figure that out. But what I can figure out is that a little while later, a few days later, Jeffrey Epstein gets an email. Now, we know Kimball credits the meetup and says Boris and Epstein were responsible in some way for this. But now Jeffrey Epstein's being emailed about Jen's schedule. Is that Jennifer? I mean, it seems like it because Jen's schedule for the rest of the year, and it seems like the assistant has copy and pasted Jen's response because she says, Sue, these would be dates in November, and then starts saying, this, she can go to New York. She says the 29th to the 7th, she's free. Kimball to New York. Then she says, Kimball, Jen, London. Kimball, Jen, London to Morocco, ? Then she has a break, and then it's Jen.
He just say, you go here, you go there. He just set their whole agenda up. Wow, for a cool 5 racks. Just send them all around the world. Bro, this shit's still happening to this day. I know there's girls on IG. You see them in Greece, Sweden. Now they in Rome and shit. Bruh, what?
St. Bart's, assuming we're not sick of each other by the end of November. Now, I can't figure out why is she running this schedule about when she's hanging out with Kimball, who Jeffrey set her up with. Like, why is she running this by Elon Musk? To be clear, I don't know. You know, there could be, I guess, innocent explanations for this. Maybe, I don't know. But all I see are constant, powerful people either being intro to girls, talking about the harem, talking about beautiful ladies, and the FBI, they can't figure it out. They have no evidence to even investigate third party.
Let a civilian do that. They'll blow your house up. What?
Why? I guess because they're rich and powerful. Around the world, we're seeing resignations, we're seeing people lose their status. But here in the United States, we've got like multiple presidents in the files. We got the world's richest man in the files, several of the world's richest men in the files, and we just can't drum up any kind of evidence. It's just incredible to me. Now, I also want to talk about another rich and powerful person, and that is Peter Attia. He's a podcast bro. He's a longevity expert. And actually, funny enough, I read his book. And that's going to come into play here in a second. Because, oh boy, did I get some additional context. But let's start here with something that Peter Attia sent Jeffrey Epstein. He says, subject, got a fresh shipment. And then Epstein responds, me too. And there's a completely redacted image. Is that a girl? Or is this bad redactions? You know, we don't know, although we'll find out.
Bro, anybody that said that Jeffrey Epstein JPEGs, bro, you're on the list. You're on the need. You need to be called in to the FBI. They need to talk to you. Like, what? You sending Jeffrey Epstein JPEGs? Huh? Like, that's redacted too? Bruh.
Because later Peter responded to this, but Peter says, please tell me you found that picture online. Jeffrey responds, got a fresh shipment, afraid not. Peter responds, you know the biggest problem with becoming friends with you. The life you lead is so outrageous, yet I can't tell a soul. Why, Peter?
Oh my God.
Why can't you tell?
Oh my God. Bro, he needs to be locked up. What are we talking about right now? I don't care how much money he got, bro. This is sick. This is sick stuff. What do these people, bruh? It's damn nearly like the One Piece, but it's for the worst of things, bruh. Like, what the hell? Like, what the hell? I'm crying.
Why don't you tell us now? Now that it's all out in the open, why don't you tell us why you can't tell a soul the secrets or the life that Epstein leads? And then we get another redacted photo, right? And then some more images, and Peter says, please tell me that's not where you actually are. And Jeffrey says, you can see the gym in the middle, just me and 4. And Peter says, I think you might have a more interesting life than the Dos Equis guy. Is this off the coast of France? No, it's my island in the Caribbean near St. Thomas. If you go to the Google Earth and type in Little St. James. Beautiful. Isn't that nice? Behind closed doors, it's beautiful. In public, we'll hear about what a monster this guy is, right? But behind closed doors, when nobody's watching, oh, it's beautiful. There's some other stuff Peter Attia said, which I'm not going to get into. I don't think it's very, appropriate for medical professionals to be saying such things. But, this wasn't all business, right? This wasn't just doctor-patient kind of stuff. There's a lot of guy talk, a lot of banter between the fellas about ladies. And maybe that's why Peter Attia says
shooting
that
the
hopefully
shit.
Jeffrey Epstein is in town when I'm back in 2 weeks. I go into Jeffrey Epstein withdrawal when I don't.
Oh, that's some gay ass. I'm trying to change. That's not good for me saying that like that. That's some real suspect things to say. You said you go into withdrawal over another man? Wow. That's crazy. Damn, you could have just said I miss the homies, but sheesh, withdrawal is crazy. Like, he a drug?
Him.
He a drug to you? What?
Dude, we're close. I mean, apparently so close that, Peter Attia goes into withdrawal when he doesn't see him. Peter Attia says, are you on island? Jeffrey Epstein says, P Beach, probably Palm Beach. And he says, what do you do when you get there? Jeffrey Epstein, guess. Peter Attia, besides that, I mean, They're not even trying to hide it, guys. This is barely code at this point. You know, what do? Guess. Well, besides that, you know, Jeffrey, we know what you do, right? So it's so funny that the FBI's like, we don't know. We can't tell what's out there. We have...
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Bro, a lot of people need to be tried for treason, man.
have no evidence, right? No evidence that could predicate an investigation against uncharged third parties and then proceed to dump on us a ton of evidence, at least to investigate, right? I'm not saying these people are guilty. Obviously, all of them deny, don't admit, blame other people, say other people are responsible for everything. So that is taken as a given. I am not accusing anyone here. I'm just saying, seems like we got a few leads here, fellas. Some people to look at. Now, I want to address the fact that Peter Attia has actually responded to this whole debacle. He says the following.
Oh, fat head ass.
Is what I sent my team last night. I sent a similar version to my patients as well. You put your trust, your credibility, your hard work, what we built together, and I take that responsibility seriously. You deserve a complete and honest account of what did and did not happen. I apologize it did not get this out sooner. I wanted to be thorough. He says, I was not involved in any criminal activity. My interactions had nothing to do with his abuse or exploitation of anyone. I was never on his plane, never on his island, never present at any parties. That said, I apologize and regret putting myself in a position where emails, some of them embarrassing, tasteless, and indefensible, are now public. So it's this.
Oh, nah, he did that shit. Oh, nah, he did that shit. He was with all the bullshit, too. He just said the emails was real. So, nah, he did that shit. Because what else is real now? You know them emails was real. You know all this Epstien shit was going on, and you was quiet as a church mouse, my nigga. You was quiet as a flea on a rainy day, nigga. Like what?
Apology, you know, he addresses some of the things, and he says that some of it's just banter, right? Like I said, it's just guy talk, whatever that means.
Why are you having guy talk with a chomo? You know, why? Nobody has guy talk with people like that. And the thing about rich people, they have these things, this inner circle things, where they be in the know. Like they always know about another rich person. They know something about them. Like.
Claims that his got a fresh shipment was in reference to a photograph of bottles of metformin, and then Jeffrey responded with a photograph of an adult woman. I responded with crude, tasteless banter. He says one line in that exchange about his life being outrageous and me not being able to tell anyone is being interpreted as awareness of wrongdoing. That's not how I meant it at all. What I was referring to poorly and flippantly was the discretion commanded by those socials and professional circles. The idea you don't talk about who you meet. I don't know, Peter. This seems like revisionist history. A little bit. I mean, personally, to me, as I'm.
Bro, they was road dogs. They was friends. You know who? What grown man wakes up and sends a very descriptive email to some random person that they just know, that they brush shoulders with, they were mutual friends with or something, and they have a continued threads. You know, we all know what was going on. And then this dude came out with that weak ass apology. He was better off not saying shit, for real, if you ask me. Shit.
Doing this, you know, third hand, right? Just from the outsider perspective. Now, Peter says he did ask Jeffrey about his 2008 conviction, because all this happened afterwards, right? He characterized it as prostitution-related charges. In 2018, I learned that this was grossly minimized. I was incredibly naive to believe him, and then later explains that in 2018, November, he read the Miami Herald investigative article, told him he needed to accept responsibility for what he did.
You think this rich motherfucker never looked into? But rich people look into damn nearly everybody. Most, let me not say all, because it's not all. There's some airheads out there, but most of these rich people that run in these circles, they scout whoever gets around them. They ask somebody. Bro, nobody is in these rooms with these people without knowing something about another person. There's somebody in these rooms that knows something about somebody else in there. It's like that for every single person that's in these rooms, bro. Like, that's how they get in these rooms. They gotta be in the know. Like, come on, man.
and said he even asked Epstein to provide therapy to Epstein's victims, which is an interesting approach to have here. Now, the funny thing is, there are some more emails between Peter Attia that we need to read, because remember that he said he read this 2018 article from the Miami Herald. I believe it's this one by Julia K. Brown in November 28th. It's about Jeffrey Epstein assembling a large cult-like network of underage girls. But in December, Peter Attia says, home is very good, work stressful, making some changes. He asks him, what's the fallout from the recent story? Apparently,
I knew he was lying, bro. That weak ass email. What? And then you admitted to the emails. I mean, that weak ass tweet. You admitted to the emails in the tweet. I'm sorry I sent these emails out. Like, bro, he apologized to like one of those little badass high school kids and shit that did something they wasn't supposed to do and shit. That's one of those type of apologies. Like, bro, you know you dead wrong.
about the Miami Herald. Now, maybe I just didn't see the emails, that where he was demanding accountability. I don't know what that's about, but Jeffrey Epstein says same as usual, just tougher. Peter Attia says legally any change. Jeffrey Epstein, 0. So, I don't know. Maybe this whole you got to provide therapy to, these victims happened. I haven't seen it yet. I definitely could see it. But it's just kind of shocking. I just kind of don't buy it. Like the whole, is there any change legally? That more sounds like you're covering yourself. I mean, just to be honest. But maybe I could look past all of that if not for the thing we're about to see, which just in my mind is maybe the worst thing I've seen in the files. Not for its, explicitness, the amount of simping that people did for Jeffrey Epstein. Now they all say, oh, it was a personal mistake, blah, blah, blah. I regret it. I didn't look into it enough. But the level is just, you've never seen anything like it. So remember I said I read a book by Peter Attia. It was called Outlive, and he's supposed to be this doctor who knows a lot about longevity. So he writes it, and I picked it up. Because at the rate we're getting rid of these crimes, I need to live forever in order to try to stop some of these scams. But as I pick up this book, and one of the things in the book is Peter Attia kind of reflecting internally about how he's kind of been a bit, and I'm paraphrasing here, but a bit of a psycho in his life, and he needed to focus on family stuff. And so he it's almost a confessional of some embarrassing things in his life. And honestly, it comes off as very vulnerable, very self-reflective. He's this doctor telling other people what to do, but he's not a very good patient. That's kind of how it comes off. And one of the stories is awful. I won't go too much into it, but basically his son has this horrible medical emergency. It's described in this book.
Peter Thiel's another evil motherfucker. I ain't gonna hold you. Another oligarch that's overstepping their boundaries, trying to get into the government's frame with that whole Palantir bullshit. See, you got this rich guy, and then he's trying to set up this little AI infrastructure, get it woven into the government, to the point where he has another faction of control on the American people. You got Jeff Bezos. He got a grip hold on the American people with Amazon. And then you got Elon Musk. He's coming straight through with this AI, Ironhead AI and shit. That's crazy. I hope these dudes, if Peter Thiel and Elon Musk got ties to Jeffrey Epstein, that would be hilarious. Because Peter Thiel and Elon Musk both made PayPal together. Like, they go way back. Interesting.
A few months ago, Tuesday, July 11th, 2017, that date is important. At 5:45 to be exact, I received a call from Jill, my wife. She was in an ambulance with our infant son. Now, again, I'm not going to get into the details here because, it's tragic, and I'm not trying to bring that into it. What is relevant is that Peter Attia talks about how he stayed in New York and didn't show up because he was, quote, busy with his important work. Even today, just thinking about what happened, I feel nauseous about my behavior. I can't believe I did that to my family. Now, at the time I read that, and I was like, well, it's at least as good that you self-reflected on that. It's horrible, but, yeah, you were a bit of a psycho. But what's crazy, now we find out some of the important work I mean, it's a little unclear, but some of the important work may have been Jeffrey Epstein, which is just,
What?
oh, it's so dark to imagine. Remember, he says July 11th, 2017 is when this all happened. And then he says he did not come home to San Diego until Friday the following week, 10 days later. So July 11th, 2017, 2 days after this happens, he's talking to Jeffrey Epstein. And they seem to be coordinating about something. Sure, what time? Jeffrey Epstein, 9:30. Peter Attia responds, sure, I can come earlier. Also, if you have a hard stop at 10, let me know. You're hanging out with Jeffrey? I don't even know what.
And like I just said earlier, him and Elon Musk go way back with the PayPal shit. So now this shit's getting way more unshy and really gross and disgusting. And none of these people are gonna get arrested, sadly. We really gotta, this whole government got to get rebuilt from the bottom up. That's the only thing that's gonna save this shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. Because the people that run it right now, they just don't care about the people at the people that actually run the country. But I digress.
Hey, this is out of pocket. I mean, there's no explanation for this. I mean, I didn't see this in the response from Peter. I mean, maybe he thinks he addresses it because he already admitted that was like scummy, but that is just. There's a reason that didn't make it in the book, is what I'm trying to say. I didn't see that in the book when I read it. I didn't see, I was actually, one of the things I needed to do, my important work was seeing or talking to Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, isn't that weird? Like, that's...
You see, guys, after I just gave that traumatic philosophical event, I had to go unwind, decompress with my dear friend, my confidant, Jeffrey Epstein. Like, bro, he's not putting that in the book. Like, what? There, I know he's compromised, 1,000% compromised. Damn. And him and Elon Musk both try to get into politics too at the same time too. That's weird, bro.
Simping that I'm talking about is these people love this guy, or that's how it seems to me. Like, what are all these rich and powerful people doing, protecting him, missing emergencies for Jeffrey, fawning over Jeffrey, asking for Jeffrey's harem, saying they're...
He got a video of them eating shit on a golden plate. I think. So, nah, I don't know. Probably something way worse. I'm just talking shit.
His problem is the life they lead is so outrageous they can't tell us all. I mean, what is going on here? And is it true they all didn't know, right? Because, I'm reading these documents, and it's hard to say who exactly knew what, when. But I don't believe, remember, they're all denying it, I don't believe nobody knew, right? Clearly, some people knew what was going on, and there's all this kind of coded language in the files where they talk about this stuff almost in like a nudge kind of way. I mean, here's some Woody Allen stuff. He was in the files. He says his business office, if you can make out the check to me, it looks very bad because then it looks like a gift to me. He says that to Epstein. He says, I don't want to be one of your women, or should I say, girls. And what's that? Oh, how do we...
That's weird,
Come on, guys. Woody says, I would be much more expensive than your girls. You wouldn't be able to afford me. Jeffrey...
Oh, nah. Huh? Man, who's that, bro? That's pretty goddamn. That's wild. That's pretty wild, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Woody Allen. Who the fuck is Woody Allen? Wow. That's crazy. You wouldn't be able to afford me? That's insane, bruh. Wow, he's selling it? Sheesh.
Yes, the price to pay would be too high. Woody says this will be a beautiful friendship. And then Jeffrey says, as long as I follow orders, smiley face. Woody Allen sends a message saying Woody says the exact same thing, but in a dirtier way. Jeffrey responds, "What's
Bro,
it?"
I can't, bro. We got this far. We gonna finish. Fuck it.
Say, Woody Allen, are you kidding? I can't put it in writing. I mean, no evidence, guys. No evidence. How? Come on. I think I see a little bit of evidence. I'm squinting, but I think I can see a little bit of evidence. I mean, guys, like Jeffrey Epstein right here, where he's talking to a guy. He says Paris with Woody, and the person responds,
Bro, lock him up. Lock him up. Lock him up, bro. Something wrong with him. He too freaky. Lock him up. They need to make a freak penitentiary. Cause what, bruh? This is crazy. A freak asylum. Cause what?
for Le Pedophile Convention. And Jeffrey says, I think pedophile is the plural. I mean, no
yeah,
evidence.
bro. They need to make a freak asylum, bro. They need to make a freak asylum, bro. I'm sick of these people. They got their inside jokes. They got their sayings and shit. You got to be a real evil person, bro. And the worst part about it, that dude is 90 years old, bro. By the time they arrest somebody, he gonna croak. I promise you.
I mean, is that no evidence? That's nothing. We don't even want to question these people. There's no investigations going on. So, yeah, it's honestly really sad to see how, look, I'm not saying people around the world are having crazy consequences, but a few people are resigning, thank goodness. You know, a few people are at least facing a little bit of scrutiny, but here Elon Musk lays out the playbook, apparently for our guys. You know, we admit nothing, we deny everything, and we blame others. We just push the spotlight onto other people. And unfortunately, that's what you've seen the whole time from all the people in the files. You know, all of them say, oh, I was so happy these files came out. It's about shining accountability and justice for the victims, but I had nothing to do with it. Okay, so then where's the justice for the victims? So nobody, you know, all of you say somebody else had something to do with it, but everybody says nobody had anything to do with it. The FBI says they don't have any other, you know, investigations, any other kind of leads, despite the fact we have one of the procurers of the women just walking free, apparently, like no charges against him. Have we investigated him? I mean, it's just shocking how much the Epstein files show the powerful.
It's because everybody's compromised. Whoever sent this guy on this mission won, bro. If it was an intelligence operation from another country, somewhere in some foreign mystical land that sent him here with that mission, hey, they won. It's over. Alright, it's they won, bro. They compromised the richest people in the country. If you was to lock up like 25% of the people, if you was to lock up like 5 of the biggest names in this shit, or just like 50% of the people in the whole case, bro, the stock market would probably crash. Or like, I might be exaggerating it, but shit would be fucked up. Shit would be fucked up. I'm not gonna hold you. Hey, shout out CoffeeZilla, man. I ain't gonna hold you. He did some great research. He always do some great research. You go tap in, subscribe. Voidzilla. Y'all see that right there? Shit. You know, I drop my little like. and shout out to the people that's fucking with me. I fuck with y'all. The long way. Peace.